against Alex Pereira, which is very impressive because Alex Pereira will be the first person to ever compete for 3 different titles, 3 different weight classes, which is just, it is insane. I mean, the success that this guy's had is phenomenal.
But Pereira should win this one, I think. Chewing up the leg, landing shots upstairs afterwards. And this is a wicked fight. Winner will take on Tom Aspinall for the belt. And that's an amazing future fight as well.
Gane on Poatan, bro. I think it'll be a fun fight. I think Gane shoots on Poatan, though. A lot of people think it's just going to be kickboxing, but I think Gane might try and switch it up for him. Like how Francis Ngannou did to Gane. Tripped him out. Confused him a little, you know?
Pereira Gane fight. If obviously Pereira wins, you all good with that?
Mate, I'm happy with any of them. There's still a bit of unfinished business there with me and Gane, so if Pereira wins, fight Pereira first, fight Gane next. I'm going to fight the winner of that.
Alex Pereira is all set to get one step closer of creating history by becoming the first UFC fighter to win 3 UFC belts in 3 different weight classes. Poatan will face Ciryl Gane for the interim belt at the White House card, and if he gets the job done, Tom Aspinall will be next. MMA pros are also excited for this fight as the heavyweight division is finally getting a big fight after a long wait. Israel Adesanya expressed confidence that Alex Pereira could overcome Ciryl Gane at the White House card, citing Pereira's power as the key factor that could secure a finish despite Gane's elusive movement.
They had to make do with what they have. They would have loved to have Jones on there, but I hope Alex wins. That's crazy. Like 3 times. Yeah. Gane's no joke, and Gane can dance around him. Gane's slick to knock him out as well. But I think Alex can knock him out too.
Henry Cejudo questioned whether Alex Pereira could handle the jump in size against Ciryl Gane. He explained that Gane's movement and stick-and-move style make him a difficult heavyweight to deal with, especially since very few fighters in the division have managed to finish him. Cejudo also pointed out that Pereira tends to absorb shots in fights, raising doubts about how well he could handle a true heavyweight's power. For Triple C, the size difference alone could become a major factor, making the matchup far more dangerous for Pereira than many expect.
I don't think he gets past Ciryl Gane. I think that weight is real. You know, Ciryl Gane, he's a stick and move guy. Could he 100%. Anybody, in particularly in that division. Okay. But nobody has really finished Ciryl Gane, bro. And his movements is very problematic. I just don't see any wrestling from him, which Pereira could have some. But the dude can thump, dude. And I will say this too. Pereira also does get hit tomorrow. Now, can you take a heavyweight's punch? Look at that. Look at that little highlight that a little practice that they had with that big Cuban. The Cuban was bigger than him, heavier than him. Dude, he was popping off on the dude that got cut by the UFC. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is size does matter.
Kamaru Usman also acknowledged Ciryl Gane as a dangerous opponent, but still saw the matchup with Alex Pereira as highly competitive. He noted that Pereira's knockout power and confidence make him a real threat, reminding fans that similar doubts existed when Alex moved to light heavyweight before dominating the division. Usman believes Pereira could still make an impact at heavyweight and sees his presence as a boost for a division that currently lacks depth.
Listen, it's a fantastic fight. You are right, Henry. Ciryl Gane is no slouch. Like, you're not just finna, and we say that Ciryl Gane made some improvements when he was fighting Tom Aspinall. We saw how that fight was starting to look. I'm not counting anyone out here. I'm not counting Alex Pereira out here because Alex Pereira does have the power to really change things. And listen, he is definitely, your confidence is at his all-time high. Listen, no one can tell you anything about your abilities and what you can or can't do. Because if that was the case, then we felt this way when Alex Pereira said he was wanting to go to light heavyweight. We felt this way. We don't know how he would do. Now he dominated that weight class. So I'm not going to feel that way about him going to heavyweight, especially when that heavyweight division right now is kind of struggling with the depth in the talent that they have. So I think this is a good thing for that heavyweight division to throw Alex Pereira in the mix there.
Meanwhile, Tom Aspinall made it clear that his focus is on facing the winner of Alex Pereira versus Ciryl Gane. He explained that everything now depends on receiving full medical clearance so he can return to proper training and full contact in the gym. Once that happens, Aspinall plans to coordinate with the UFC to lock in a fight date, with the goal of stepping in against the winner as soon as he's cleared to compete again.
You obviously thought it was going to be John Jones, and now Gane's got that fight. Do you feel like he's almost been rewarded a bit for what's happened, or?
I mean, who else is going to fight though? The division's on its ass. So there's not many big fights to make, is there? So got to do what they got to do. Right. Just took in the information. Ciryl Gane, Alex Pereira. Obviously, I'm going to fight the winner of that. So just waiting now to be given the green light, the all clear from the doctors to start training properly again. As soon as we can start training properly again, full contact in the gym, we will be getting a fight date booked to fight the winner. So just waiting for the clearance to be medically cleared now, and then we go.
So it's a case of you guys contacting the UFC and just giving them...
Exactly, as soon as the doctor clears me, we'll let the UFC know, and we'll be looking to book a fight as soon as possible.
Michael Bisping viewed the matchup as a tremendous clash between two elite strikers, highlighting the magnitude of Alex Pereira chasing a third UFC title. He also praised Tom Aspinall for how he handled the situation, noting that the undisputed heavyweight champion avoided complaints and accepted the circumstances calmly. Bisping explained that Aspinall recognized the heavyweight division lacks clear contenders right now, which is why the fight makes sense, especially with the champion set to face the winner.
Ridiculously talented strikers, and of course Pereira fighting for a third belt. That is just insane. And the undisputed heavyweight champion, Tom Aspinall, I gotta say, I really respect his response. He basically came out, he didn't talk shit, he wasn't complaining, he didn't say, oh, why is Ciryl Gane getting rewarded for poking him in the eye, getting to fight at the White House and for an interim belt? He didn't say that at all. He took it all in his stride. He said, well, you know what, to be fair, the heavyweight division, it's kind of lacking right now, or on its arse or something like that. Who else are you going to do? This is the fight that makes sense, and of course he gets to fight the winner.
Michael Bisping highlighted the significance of Alex Pereira potentially competing for titles in 3 different weight classes, calling the achievement remarkable given Pereira's rapid success in the UFC. Bisping then focused on the matchup with Ciryl Gane, describing it as a compelling clash between 2 high-level strikers. He even suggested it might be a better stylistic fight than Pereira facing John Jones, explaining that while Jones' matchup carries more legacy and star power, Jones likely would have relied on wrestling to neutralize Pereira's striking.
Alex Pereira will be the first person to ever compete for 3 different titles, 3 different weight classes, which is just, it is insane. I mean, the success that this guy's had is phenomenal. And we're going to talk about this matchup. So Ciryl Gane versus Gane, pardon me. Ciryl Gane versus, oh, I've got to adjust my contact lens because sometimes everything goes a bit blurry and I can't see shit. There we go. Yeah, so Ciryl Gane versus Alex Pereira, 2 great strikers, and I'll say this, it's a better fight than John Jones versus Alex Pereira, and I'll explain why, right? Of course, magnitude, star power, legendary names, resumes. Yeah, that's what John Jones brings. Also what Alex Pereira brings, to be fair. But I've said this a million times, so this won't be a shock. There would have been a really good chance that John Jones would have just taken down Alex Pereira. Pardon me, it's early.
MMA Guru viewed the matchup as an incredible striking battle and leaned toward Alex Pereira getting the job done against Ciryl Gane. He believed Pereira's pressure and ability to cut off the cage could create major problems for Gane, who hasn't faced someone with Alex's level of striking skill. The Guru also pointed out that Gane lacks the early finishing threat and offensive wrestling needed to trouble Pereira, making it difficult to stop the Brazilian if he starts dictating the pace.
Absolutely amazing. I'm leaning towards Alex Pereira here to get it done against Ciryl Gane. I think he's going to be too much on the front foot, track the cage. I don't think Ciryl Gane's going to be used to a guy with the skill level of Alex Pereira. He's never fought someone with that ability in his life. And Volkov has good technical ability on the feet, and he beat Ciryl Gane in their last fight and did very well on the feet against him as well. So when he finds someone who can really cut off the cage like Pereira and really punish him, Gane hasn't got the first round finish ability that Aspinall does to make him a threat to a guy like Alex Pereira. He also doesn't really have the offensive wrestling game to make him a threat to a guy like Alex Pereira either.
MMA Guru acknowledged that Ciryl Gane still has the tools to make the fight competitive, pointing to his smooth footwork and effective movement on the back foot. He noted that Gane stands out technically among heavyweights but lacks the explosive knockout power. Even with those strengths, the guru still leaned toward Alex Pereira, believing Pereira could break him down with leg kicks and pressure. In his view, the matchup is thrilling, especially with the winner expected to face Tom Aspinall for the title next.
He could get it done. He has good backwards movement. He floats around well on the back foot. He does it better than Jamal Hill, if we're being honest. Gane is one of the rare heavyweights that actually really does have a good technical base for the heavyweight division. He just lacks that KO power and lacks that ability to just nuke someone in the first 2 minutes. He's never really been able to do it throughout his entire career. And I would, off the top of my head, I can't think of a time that Gane has got a first 2 minute of the fight finish like a guy like Aspinall or Ngannou has. But Pereira should win this one, I think. Chewing up the leg, landing shots upstairs afterwards. And this is a wicked fight. Winner will take on Tom Aspinall for the belt. And that's an amazing future fight as well.
Nick Barnhill felt the White House card fell short of expectations, arguing it missed the chance to create historic triple belt moments. He believed adding Ciryl Gane looked like a late change and weakened Alex Pereira's opportunity to win a true undisputed third title, since an interim belt wouldn't carry the same significance. Barnhill suggested bigger matchups like Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev, and Pereira moving up to face Jon Jones could have delivered that level of history.
I feel like they missed the mark not only with adding Ciryl Gane, and that feels like a last-minute replacement to me, but the fact that they are diminishing the ability for Alex Pereira to win a true undisputed third belt in the UFC. If he wins that belt, he's only an interim, so it's like winning 2.5 belts because it's not truly the undisputed. And to me, it felt like the biggest thing they could have done on the White House card. Look, forget Conor McGregor. Let's just take him off the board. If they would have put Ilia and Islam together, you'd have somebody going for triple belt status. And then you also have Alex Pereira going up to fight Jon Jones, triple belt status. Those could potentially be undisputed. We could figure out a way. But to me, this feels like a big letdown because, look, I'm not mad at the main event. I want Justin Gaethje to get his fair shot. And I think it's good that Ilia Topuria defends his belt before he moves up. But when you're talking about how they sold this fight and how they've been promising all this stuff, it felt like they were going to have to bring, you know, I'm going to date myself a little bit. They were going to bring Rumble Johnson back from the dead to fight on this card, you know?
Yeah, Rumble versus Kimbo Slice. I mean, that's the way that they were talking about it, right? And RIP to those two legends. What a great
legends.
reference. I haven't thought about Rumble in a long time, but
from our home state too.
Yeah, from Georgia. Shout out to Rumble Johnson.
On the other hand, Tom Aspinall expressed surprise at the White House card, wondering why Jon Jones wasn't included despite all the hype. He acknowledged that the event still has solid matchups, but emphasized that his focus remains on unfinished business with Ciryl Gane and securing the fights that matter most for his career.
What about Jon Jones? I thought Jon Jones was on it.
Where's he gone?
Where's he gone, John? So that's it, no prelims, just that.
Yeah.
One,
just
two, three.
whilst that plays out, what's your thoughts? You can just put the sound down a tiny bit.
I thought they were going to do Topuria versus Makhachev, is what I thought. And then they were going to do Pereira versus Jones. I mean, they're still decent fights. They're still all right. I mean, they're still good fights, aren't they?
I have to ask you about that Pereira Gane fight. If obviously Pereira wins, you all good with that?
Mate, I'm happy with any of them. There's still a bit of unfinished business there with me and Gane, so if Pereira wins, fight Pereira first, fight Gane next.
However, there are rumors that the UFC didn't want to pay Jon Jones a big paycheck, and that's why he wasn't added on the card. Ariel Helwani thinks Jon Jones has every reason to be frustrated. He explains that a fighter of Jones' legacy and drawing power should be earning massive paydays in today's market. Helwani points out that athletes who have spent years headlining events and building the sport have set the financial standard, so when smaller fights earn big money, it naturally raises expectations for top stars like Jones with his long-standing dominance and resume.
Jon Jones has every reason to be upset. In my opinion, Jon Jones is worth $30 million. If Conor Benn, with all due respect, is getting 15 to fight Regis Prograis in a catchweight fight, Jon Jones is worth 30, and Conor McGregor is worth 75. If that's the market value now, if that's the ceiling, then them dudes are worth a hell of a lot now, and because of everything they did over the past 10 years or so. Like, Conor Benn, Jon Jones ain't the same as far as drawing power, I'm sorry, and as far as resumes. So what they've done now is, that's the new number. Because all these fighters, the top ones, are saying, wait a second, and they're saying, yeah, you can have that number too. But the problem is, they all know that they're way bigger stars.
Ariel Helwani points out that top stars understand their worth and won't settle for pay that doesn't match their impact and achievements. Helwani notes that fighters with proven drawing power and long-term success know the revenue they bring in, making them unlikely to accept offers that undervalue their influence and achievements in the sport.
So I think they took these guys for fools or something like that. Because I can guarantee you they're going to come with that number to Conor McGregor and he's going to be like, what? Are you kidding? I could almost tell, I'm not even in the meeting and I can tell you this is going to happen. I mean, I think Conor Ben himself would agree with me. Would he not? Just in terms of what they've done and who they are and their track record and drawing power.
Tom Aspinall further wonders why Jon Jones isn't being paid what a fighter of his stature deserves. He notes that athletes who have spent years headlining events and driving the sport's revenue should be properly rewarded. For Aspinall, someone with Jones' legacy should naturally rank among the top earners, making the current situation hard to comprehend.
Wow. Well, my reaction to that, and this is going to probably be crazy to a lot of people listening, but why is the UFC not giving Jon the respect he deserves financially? That's crazy to me. Well, if anyone should be getting paid a lot in this sport, it should be Jon Jones for the stuff that he's done, and that's me. That's me saying that.
Yeah.
After the history that I've had with Jon Jones.
Are you surprised they're not giving it to him?
Well, they offered him 30 million to fight me, so why have they not offered it again? I don't understand.
And you're probably a $25 million fighter.
I would hope so, but those guys who we're talking about, Conor McGregor and Jon Jones and guys like that, like they bring in the other guy. Those are the guys who brought in the revenue for over 10 years. They need to be getting paid what they deserve, in my opinion. I think the guys need to get their money ready for my fight. If we're talking about 25 million, I think
that was my idea.
25 million. Get it ready. Because I'm ready to get that.
Meanwhile, Chael Sonnen felt for Jon Jones, noting that the former champion is dealing with physical challenges while still competing at the top level. He explained that Jones just wanted a spot on the White House card, and seeing others get opportunities instead makes his situation easier to understand.
And when you're Jon Jones and you're 37, you're 38 years old, and you're coming out and you're saying, like, I can't do this, and I've got arthritis, and I got these problems in my hips, and it's just a tough spot. And I feel for him. He wanted on the White House card. To our knowledge that we've been given, and I understand that things are kept, but from our knowledge, that was all that he asked for. He did not come in with some $30 million price tag or something ridiculous. And I imagine there was a little bit of a pain in the behind the scenes, but he had still made an ask, and he's doing a number of great things. And a guy that he smoked in 4 minutes got the opportunity. I mean, I could feel for Jon in that spot.
Chael Sonnen highlighted that Jon Jones' situation is more complicated than it appears. He questioned why Jones would compete for an interim title, noting it doesn't match his legacy. He added that while the UFC might have handled it differently, the truth is clear. If Jones couldn't get conditions for a major fight, they're likely less likely to approve a smaller one.
It's a lot more complicated than you might think. Then are you going to tell me you're not going to put him in the interim? Like, does that sound right to you? Jon Jones fighting for the interim championship. Does that sound right to you? No, I don't think that you'd have done that. And you could have packaged it. You could have sold it so it's an interim title because Tom's out, and then that's good. We've got a guarantee that we got a 2-fight deal, and Jon's guaranteeing us that he's going to go into Tom. I mean, it's one of these tough things. Look, if Jon's demands were not met, and by the way, I don't take a pleasure in this. I got to tell you, I'm not being my usual self. I come to you quite the opposite. But here's the cold hard truth: if Jon Jones's demands are not being met for the biggest fight in history, they're not going to be met for the non-biggest fight in history.
For a fighter of Jon Jones' stature, missing a title fight on the UFC's biggest card sends a clear message. Chael Sonnen explains that such a setback makes it unlikely he would get another opportunity in any other event. Looking at the situation as a whole, Sonnen interprets it as a strong sign that Jones is essentially stepping away from competition.
If Jon Jones could not get a title fight on the biggest show in history, he's not going to get a title shot on a different show in history. If Jon Jones could not get the main event, he's not going to get it on a different event. And for his greatness, that's tough. I don't think this is the way that he wants to go out. I don't think this is the way that he wants to retire. But there's simply, with the evidence that we have, there's no other way to interpret this than Jon Jones is retired.
So that's all we have from today's video, and hopefully you have enjoyed it. Share your thoughts in the comments section. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos.